Acropolis and Parthenon is not the same. When we say Acropolis, we mean the hill. Parthenon is one of the temples at the top of the hill. So
Hola, hola, mi gente. Buenos dias. Welcome back to the channel, or bienvenidos if you are new here. My name is Ariana and I am a digital nomad documenting my travels as I journey around the world. Today I am greeting you from Athens. I arrived here yesterday afternoon after wrapping up my trip with my friends out in Crete. They headed back to their homes in the States, and I stayed here in Athens because most of us had a connecting flight out of Athens. So after getting here, I checked into my Selena hostel, and to my surprise, this Selena is really, really nice. I know it's one of the newer ones, but it surpassed my expectations in regards to how it's set up. It is super clean and it's located in a really great area. And that's not to say that any of the other Selenas aren't that way. I guess my expectations just weren't very high. But so far, being here in Athens, I would say the same for the city. It is huge. I did not realize how big and how much there is to do in the city. I'm actually only here for today, so I'm trying to make the most out of my 24 hours here today because I fly out for my next destination tomorrow. So to kick things off, I'm actually headed out to go see Acropolis, one of those. Going to see the Acropolis, going to do a tour, and about to be late, so vámonos.
I will take it like you know nothing, okay? I will start from scratch. And let me tell you that Acropolis and Parthenon is not the same. When we say Acropolis, we mean the hill. Parthenon is one of the temples at the top of the hill. So two different things. Acro means top, polis, city. So it's the top of the city, it's the highest hill always. And you have to realize that Acropolis didn't exist only in Athens. Once upon a time, Greece was a little bit like the United States of America. I mean, different city-states. They all had the same language, the same religion, the same culture, but very different rules, like the US of today. So Acropolis existed at every city-state of Greece. Always had a strong fortification wall at the top. They could see the enemies from far away and they could protect themselves inside the walls. That was the reason of having an Acropolis. But the Acropolis of Athens is famous all over the world because of Parthenon. No other Acropolis had the Parthenon on top. Okay, that's a big difference.
So you see, we have one part of it still surviving, and the other part is over there.
The first one here says, in Greek, priest Demetrios. Okay, they were keeping the same throne as long as they were alive. When they were dead, the new priest would take their place and a new name would be carved. So these thrones are of the last people, of the last priests that used the theater. The theater was in continuous use all classical period and all Roman periods. The Christians abandoned it, and the Ottomans destroyed it the way that you see it today. The seats that still exist above the thrones were strictly and only for men. The seats in the middle, when I say middle, I mean you see a corridor and there are people walking on the corridor. So between the corridor and the seats that exist today existed more seats, and these were again for young men. And the seats behind the corridor, very close to the walls, were for women. Like I said before, they couldn't sit to do that even if they were married. Men here, women up there. The walls remain there for 2,500 years because they were constructed at the beginning of the 5th century BC. You see, these big stoa, 2 floors, existed next to the temple. And when we say stoa, we mean a certain Greek construction that has a wall at the top, at the back, a wall at the back, a roof on top, and all the rest in front are columns. Imagine it as an open building in front. Stoas mainly existed inside the ancient market. We used as shops, as public buildings, or gyms for men. And on top of the hill there is a monument. So I will explain you why this hill is called Philopappos. Philopappos was a Syrian benefactor, a Syrian prince actually, that lived in the 2nd century AD, the Roman period. So he came here in Athens in order to save his life. He did many good things in the city here and there, so he became a benefactor of Athens, and after a while he became an Athenian citizen. So before he died, his only wish was his grave to be there in order to look at the Acropolis, a very romantic benefactor. So literally what you see is the monument of himself and his family, the statues, and underneath the statues exists literally his grave. Odeon is a special theater for music and concerts. And this was built in the 2nd century AD, the Roman period, and it was built by Herodes Atticus. So this, once upon a time, also had a roof. It was a closed, luxurious theater. We don't have the roof anymore because it was wooden and it was destroyed. And that's why we use it only during the summer, beginning of June until beginning of October. Almost every night there is a performance here. The only thing that is new are the seats. The seats, all the marble seats are new because the Ottomans destroyed them. This was the inspiration of the inventor of Lego.
Oh wow.
Acropolis inspired many artists all over the world and all over the centuries. So you see these decorations existed there since 5th century BC. It was not just a decoration, just to be beautiful. They were there because they were throwing away the rain whenever it was raining, and it didn't destroy the marble. The caryatids were looking like this. You see the picture?
Yeah.
And like I said before, we have designs before the bomb of Morosini, and that's how we know all the details. So the one that is today in the British Museum is the one with the white dress. The best preserved.